I'm going to do something I've never done on this show before, all right? And I have never been opposed to anyone speaking their piece and saying exactly what's on their mind when they'll come forward and say it. So David Clark has indicated that he would like to be able to say those things. I want to give him the right to say it. I realize that I might be thrown off some pablum puking show. I'm not going to make some guy leave mine, all right? David Clark, if you come back up and join us and take that chair, sir. No. I'd appreciate not doing that. David, please sit down. Let me help you with this microphone on here. Go ahead. Here we go.
You owe me apology, Mr. Downey. You better give it.
All right, what, sir?
You better give it to him.
There you go. Now, wait a second. I'd like Mr. Clark to say whatever he wants to say and explain his position because he's entitled to do that.
Mr. Downey, your people who asked you to come back in here told me that you were prepared to offer me an apology.
No one speaks for me, Mr. Clark. I don't apologize for anything when I feel I'm correct. Give me this camera. Now, let me tell you something, all right? Let me tell you something. Just because a guy is an elected official in this country, just because he sits on the D.C. Board of Councilmen, all right, does not mean that any American has to apologize for speaking his mind. And if my producers think that I have to do that, they can go straight to hell. I don't apologize for anything. Let me go to you, sir. Introduce yourself.
I'm Mike Weinberg of Morton. I'm with the Anti-Crime Amendment. I'd like to address two of the points that have been touched on by the panelists. One about life without parole. I'll start off with that one. In the Anti-Crime Amendment, we do have correction officers as members. And what they tell us is this. When you have someone who's in there for life and he knows that if he commits murder, intentional murder, that he does not have to pay the death penalty, then in reality what you're giving him is the right to run the prison. You don't actually have to murder the correction officer as long as the correction officer knows. This is what they actually tell me, the members of the Anti-Crime Amendment who are officers, and there are several, that once you know that threat is there, that a fellow can murder you, and he has nothing else to pay because he's already in there for 20 years.
Good point, Professor. How do you address that?
That's a difficult issue and a complex issue and one that hits very close to home. I'm not very far from Dannemora, which is, of course, one of the premier state institutions in New York.
When you say, one second, when you say it hits very close to home, I don't believe in that. I got to tell you why. Because another thing we find with the Anti-Crime Amendment is that the people who are like limousine liberals, college professor, I would consider, even if you don't have a limousine, I consider you a limousine liberal. In other words, you got yours. For working people, ordinary working people who've got to protect themselves and their wives and their families and their husbands, they don't got theirs. They want to hold on to theirs. So I have to disagree with you on that.
That's something else that you don't have in this manner. I wouldn't interrupt you when you were talking.
Well, I think you've interrupted. I think you've done your fair share I think you've done your fair share regarding matters when you tried to insult the other guest there by I don't think that was very polite.
Personally attacking me.
What do you think? Well, so I don't think you can lecture me
go with Miss Manners next, right?
I'd like to interrupt the professor. Can I? I'd like to interrupt the professor. You said something before the break that I thought was kind of interesting. You actually mentioned the word justice. That's something that you guys usually don't talk about, but you did say that what you thought was just was not executing these murderers, but putting them in jail for life. And some members of the audience said something which I thought was very true. Why should we pay for these people? What is it that's just about asking us to pay for murderers to have room and board for the rest of their life? Where is the justice in that?
Very simple.
I asked him, what do you, is Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy?
Mr. Lawson, can I ask you one question? Have you...
Answer the
One question for you,
Answer
sir.
the question first, then I'll answer. I said, answer the question first, then I'll answer your question. That's a movie technique.
Have you, sir, ever seen a person walking down the street...
I'm sorry,
whom you thought you knew...
I'm sorry.
Have you ever seen a person walking down the street whom you thought you knew...
Frequently.
Yes, and then all of a sudden you went up there and it really wasn't them. You might even called out to them and said so, right? Do you know how many people are in jail today on this?
Let me try it again. Watch my lips. Watch my lips. Let me try the question again.
Yes.
Watch the lips. Wherein is the justice in asking us to pay for murderers room and board for life? Where's the justice there? Would you tell me?
This is an enlightened age, we believe.
Enlightened age.
That's right.
It's a barbaric
That's right.
age. Yeah, enlightened age. Where do you live? Where do you live? Hey, Mike, ask him where he lives.
You walk down the streets of Brooklyn.
I don't know where you live. I live in Brooklyn.
If you walk down the streets of Brooklyn 75 years ago, there were a lot more murders. There was lots of death penalties then.
Let me tell you something
That's
about
right.
this enlightened age. Let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you something. The cross. Let me get back. Well, wait a minute.
We haven't been over to Bed-Stuyvesant, have
Let
we?
me tell you something about the... Let me tell you something about the enlightened age. The fact of the matter is that more than 3/4 of the people of this country support the death penalty. So you're the one that's in the minority.
80%.
80%. That's more than 3/4.
That's your jury.
80 is more than
Yes.
3/4.
I like the 80%. You don't believe in the American people being
Not
able
as
to decide.
long as...
You don't believe in the American
attorney-
people being
No.
able to decide.
They were enlightened a
That's
minute
not
ago.
the jury, sir. Not as
That's
long
the
as
jury.
prosecutors
The American
can select
people are the
those
jury.
who they want to prosecute to get the death penalty, not so long as prosecutors can urge a court to give the death penalty to this person and not another.
You're murderers.
That's right.
Yes.
And that's the problem.
Let me ask a question of all of you.
Poor
Well, let's get this back on...
cares?
Gentlemen, excuse me. Let me get this back on track, because this is to all of you, and I'd like to start right around the room. Recently, in response to another drug-related killing of a police officer, New York City Police Commissioner Ben Ward said of cop killers, kill them all, let the good Lord sort them out. Now, what's wrong with that?
The fact of the matter is that the good Lord has ordained civil government magistrates to administer his justice. And the scriptures list a whole number of capital crimes. So it's the good Lord that orders the death of murderers. Wake up!
When Benjamin Ward made that statement, he was under the impression that the person who killed that police officer was one of the perpetrators, correct? It has since turned out that that crime was, not crime, but that shooting was allegedly done by another police officer. If this gentleman had his way, an innocent person would be swinging.
But you're being...
If this gentleman had his way,
No, there would have been a trial. There would have been a trial. Here's the case. Here is the case
It is that
where
knee-jerk-
justice found itself out immediately. The police identified who the killer
That's
was.
right. And more credit to the police for that. But when we have this kind of knee-jerk advocate right here who says, swing them high, that's the only way I'm happy.
That's right.
That's the only way I'm happy. You got it. That's right.
Before we execute the dirtbags, I propose using all of their organs, all right, for donations, scientific research on murderers. Next, join us.